We are back with another episode of my poker vlogging experience at Northern Quest Casino in Spokane, Washington. First hand we get dealt is Ace-10 suited in the cutoff. I open things up for $15 after a limp in middle position, and only the player in the small blind calls, so we're heads up, and we see a flop of Ace-4-7 with no flush draws. He checks in the dark, and I check it back to keep him in the pot. Turn is the 10 of diamonds, the best card in the deck. He leads out for $15, and I think about it for a second, and I decide to raise to $35 to deny any equity he might have, but also keep him priced in. He shrugs, and he makes the call. The river is the 6 of hearts. Any draws missed except for 5-8, but with this specific player, I'm not worried about that at all. I bet $20 for thin value, and he makes the call. I could have definitely sized up a little bit, but a small bet on the river could potentially induce a bluff re-raise on the river from him, so I don't know. I think I got close to max value on that one. While I'm stacking my chips from the last hand, and the camera's still running, I look down at pocket 9s in the hijack. An early position player opens the action to $15, and I make the call. He gets 5 callers, so we're going 6 ways to see at least 3 cards. The dealer gathers the chips, burns and turns. Flop comes Jack 10-8 with 2 hearts. Not a great flop for pocket 9s, but I block a lot of the nutted hands, and I'm also open-ended. When it checks to me, I check it, and it checks around. Turn changes absolutely nothing but the 4 of spades. First player to act thinks about it, and he makes it $30. $30 into $90, third size pot bet, and the player in front of me makes the call. So I decide for this price to make the call with a lot of equity and some showdown value against any flush draws that my opponents might have. We're going 3 ways with 180 in the pot, and the river is the beautiful 7 of spades. The only thing that beats me is Queen 9, and I double block any 9x holdings. The first player to act, who just raised on the turn, bets $40, which is music to my ears. Next person folds, and I raise to $100, but get a snap fold from the early position player as I bring in over $300 pot.
Yeah, show your true colors, shine through, right? Don't quit your day job.
Pocket pair galore. I get dealt 2 red 8s in the middle position, and I open up to $15. As you can see in the bottom left hand of the screen, I added my stack size per popular demand. It's important to know your stack size as well as your opponents when determining whether or not it's profitable to draw, bluff, or even play hands pre-flop. In this hand, we go 6 ways to another flop. It feels like deja vu with a flop of Queen Jack 6 and 2 spades. Very similar to the last hand I played, and we check it around. Turn is the 7 of hearts, bringing in the backdoor flush draw as well as some straight draws. The player in early position bets $15 into a $90 pot, and after 3 callers, I decide I'm going to make the call as I'm getting such a good price here. The river is a beauty. It's the 8 of clubs. Some straight draws got there, but every other draw, aside from 9-10, bricked out, and a player bets out for $30. After 1 caller, I think about it for just a little bit, and I'm trying to get as much value as I can with my set. It's very disguised. So I make the same exact play as the last hand, and I raise it to $100 for value, hoping to get a call from any queen, jack, missed flush draw, any 2-pair hand in general. It could look like a bluff as I just made this play. The first player folds, and the second player is thinking it over for quite a while. He asks for a count, dealer tells him it's $100, so it's 70 more to him. 70 more in an almost $350 pot. He's getting pretty good odds for anything he has. And after he doesn't snap call me, I'm really hoping for a call. I'm trying to keep a straight face, not give any tells away, but the player to my left has his ringtone go off, and it's a sound from Star Wars, and it makes me laugh. I tell him, hey, I'm trying to keep a straight face here, this is important. And that might have been the deciding factor. After what feels like forever, he decides to make the crying call, and I show my set. He doesn't seem too happy as I rivered a set on him. Nonetheless, I haul in another massive pot with another great river card for me. Even though I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing, I'm trying to improve the quality of every video I make, whether it's crisper audio, better graphics, or higher quality analysis. If there's anything you'd like to see in future videos, leave a comment or message me on Instagram. You know, I haven't really talked about myself at all, so since we have a minute, I figured I'd introduce myself. I'm in my senior year of school at Washington State University. I just played my 4th season of college football, and I'm going to be graduating with a finance degree in May. I really enjoy the competitive aspects of playing poker as well as joining a new community, and that's kind of what got me into playing poker and, you know, starting this vlog. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a new challenge, but it keeps me busy, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to share my experiences with you guys. That being said, I get dealt pocket jacks immediately after getting pocket 8s. The first player to act opens up to $15, and I 3-bet to $45. Upon this 3-bet, the player to my left caps the action with a $75 bet. He plays pretty snug and doesn't get out of line too often. And for this price, the player in front of me calls, and I've got no option but to make the call as well. With jacks, it's a weird spot because it's a 4-bet pot, but it's such a small raise, and I had a small 3-bet in the first place, so it's kind of a weird spot, and I'm just looking to see a clean flop here. Clean flop is not what we get with queen, 6, 5, all clubs, and no clubs in my hand. So not much to do here. Check it to the pre-flop aggressor, and he goes all in for about $150, and I've got to release my hand here. My opponent has been friendly all day, and after I show my jacks, he shows pocket kings with the king of clubs. So I guess that scary flop really helped me out in the long run, especially with him capping the action at 75, so I lost the minimum here.
Nice hand.
The last hand of the session, I have king queen offsuit and open the action to $15. After I open, the player on the button 3-bets to $50. There haven't been many 3-bets this whole day, and I probably should just fold here, but after being card dead and about to leave, I decide to make the really loose call. The player behind me makes the call as well, so we're going 3 ways in a 3-bet pot. Board comes out, king, 10, 4 with 2 diamonds. About as good as it gets for king queen here, and after we check it to the pre-flop aggressor, he counts his chips out and he makes it $60. $60 into $150 is not a very big sizing, especially when I hit this board pretty well. So, not much to do here but make the call. The player behind me, he decides to fold, so we're going to go heads up to a turn. Turn brings the 8 of spades, bringing in the backdoor flush draw, but not really changing much aside from that. I check it again, and he sizes up to $110. After this bet, he's got about 200 left in his stack, and I'm either way ahead here or way behind. I decide to deny all equity with his drawing hands, as he could have any flush draw now. I decide to go all in, and I don't get snap called, but he just takes a second, and he decides to make the call. The river brings in the front door flush, which is not great, and I show my top pair. He rolls over pocket aces though, as it didn't matter. I get coolered in a pot that I had no business playing in the first place, so that's a great example of why you should just fold your hand pre-flop when you shouldn't be getting out of line.
Count that up for me.
Alright guys, as you can see, it just takes one hand to make or break a session, and in the last hand, I should have just folded pre-flop, and it would have saved me a lot of money, and, you know, I ended up losing $200 on the session. So, without that last hand, I'm up just about 200, 250. So it really goes to show that getting lazy or making an error at one point in your day can really change the outcome. That being said, I appreciate the support, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll be back next week with another video. Thank you.